Alright guys, so sorry I've been gone for a while now, but we're back. Sorry, I've been gone for a while again, but we're back here with another MSBS Sprummer sweeper, this time at Shore Lanes. And from the previous Sprummer sweeper in Grand Rapids, I kind of started to see something with this Scorpion low flare here. It looks, it looks really solid. Like it's gonna give me an even shape every single time. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start with this. I'm just gonna use this ball. I really, really like it. And obviously, depending on how well I execute a shot, it looks pretty good. Um, so yeah, right here we're bowling on, I believe, a 40 or 41 foot pattern. It kind of doesn't really matter. After a certain point, you just see what's on the lane and do the best you can with what you got out there. And my best is okay right now. It's, I could be grinding 2-0 here, or shoot 190, or shoot 170. It's nobody's kind of playing in the spot that I'm at. So okay, that's definitely not true. There's a couple of people playing in the spot that I'm at, I'm pretty sure. And my luck's just kind of blowing up. The shim is going, and so I have to move. And I made some solid moves, and well, that was pretty sick right there. I made some pretty solid moves, but not some not so great ones, and walked away with 190. Made that 3, 6, 7, 10 there at the end. Definitely can't complain. But my idea now is to just play farther right. It feels like that's the move, because especially after this shot, I felt like the break point was about 4-5, of course, and I threw it there and it never hooked. So I was like, oh god, okay, like let me just move right now. Nobody else is playing there, and I remember going to this pair, realizing that there was a lot of urethane on the lane, so I just moved right on top of them, and I've got an okay look. I kind of have to dead ace them to have a chance at striking. So, not horrible, but I've got to be really good from there, and it's very apparent here. I kind of, yeah, it's just very apparent that I have to be really good from this angle. I have to have great consistency, and which I do right now, fortunately. Well, maybe not there. Almost struck, and the old blower 9-pin. You know how it is out here. You know how I do it, just like that, actually. And even more beastly, yeah. I love getting 6-2, actually. You know how it is. And yes, the greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT. You know how I do it. You know how I do it. 170 for a great bracket game. Oh boy. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna move in. I'm gonna throw it to the right and see what happens, because clearly that wasn't the play. Or I guess I'm gonna try throwing it. Try being right one more time, because I didn't throw the greatest of all time on the first ball. So I figured, oh, okay, moving right's just gonna solve all my problems, which unfortunately didn't. But then I just move a little bit off the 5-pin, and it looks pretty good. So now this is the big shot. Will this carry? Yes, it will. That was big, because getting a double signifies that you have something on both lanes, and you can roll with it. That was obviously a very horrible shot, because I think I flared my elbow a little bit, but it is what it is. That was I finally realized that I had it, and I just was nervous. But yeah, when you get that first double, it feels really, really good. because you know that you kind of have that lane, or you have that pair, so to speak. And, this was no exception. I mean, had I thrown a better shot in the sixth there on the first ball, I probably would have been shooting 260 here. Well, I mean, yeah. Regardless, 240. I believe that won a high game pot too. So again, not a bad bracket game for reverse brackets, because there's in MSBS's there's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 2, 4, 3, 2. So, not bad for reverse brackets that game. Another beastly miss to the right. And yeah, I mean, on this pattern, it definitely, or on these conditions, it was apparent that you couldn't miss to the right. Like, if you missed early to the right, you were dust. I mean, if you missed early to the right and didn't have slow speed, like, you were dust. And that's usually the case on all sport shots, but I mean, I got 5 both times I did that, so yeah. Right here, again, I know that I have this right lane, which is good, but this left lane was a little bit tricky because I went 5-9, but then now I move a little bit farther left and throw a better shot and catch a really clutch break there. Like, that was extremely clutch, and you'll see why in a minute here. Oh baby, get that messenger out. You know how it is. Another move left, strike. And at this point in the tournament, I'm on the bubble, and there's nobody else. Like, there's kind of a couple. The successful people, I guess, are doing this line, and yeah, just what I needed right on the bubble. You know how I like to do it. You know how I like to do it. You know I like to keep it suspenseful out here. You already know. I am that guy. I am that missed spare guy. You know how it is. Anyways, I threw three really good shots there, and made the cut. Fortunately, I mean, good gosh, it was so bad. But it's really, really, really difficult to throw good shots in those situations, because you just came off of shooting 2 really bad shots. I mean, they were really bad, and you're kind of nervous, and you're on the cut, but it's moments like those where you just do the best you can with what you got. It's extremely difficult, but it is what it is. And now I've advanced, of course, to the bracket play, where I face Andrew Anderson and 7-10. Come on, brother. Bro, please. Why you have the 7-10 like that? But going into this game, I was the 14 seed and Andrew was the 3, so he had it figured out early and never let up. And in this game, he went 9 spare strike, or excuse me, I went strike, then he went 9 spare strike, and then I went 7-10, and I was like, oh boy. Based on the look he had in practice, I was like, oh boy, like, this is not going to be good if I can't strike here. Not in a sense where I was like thinking about it, but it was like in a sense of like, it would be really nice to have strikes. And unfortunately, I have all these strikes, but I'm telling you, like, I knew Andrew's look, and this was at a time where, we had just gotten done with the tour, basically. I mean, he was real sharp, and Andrew's always sharp, but like, I don't know, he was just real sharp, and he shot 290 on me. Like, that 7 pin was huge, because I needed to strike out to force him to show up, basically, or to like 9 spare strike, but unfortunately I didn't get it, and that was the result. But back on the right track, and that was a really solid performance. So I'll see you guys later.